Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we are going to make a multi-layered instrument inside of Koala. Someone had asked the question, said it would be great if you could make, multi-layered instruments. Well, you can. Okay, so let's first of all go to samples. You can select locations from anywhere you like, but if you have Koala Basic, just if you have Koala, you also have the basic stuff. And you can also take a sample from any of the songs you already have in Koala. Okay, so let's just go with basics here and we'll look for melodic. We've got this. I'm going to use this to start with. So I'm just going to take this sample, stick it on that pad. I'm going to take this hum sample, stick it on a pad. And yeah, we'll take that as well and stick that on a pad. Right. Nice. Let's just close that. So we have these three samples now. I'm going to go into sequence and press my keyboard icon and just choose any one of these so I can play it with my keyboard. Go back to sample. So I'm going to make some edits to this one. So I'm going to go onto this one. I'm going to shorten that to there. I'm going to crop it. I'm going to increase the release. And with this one, I'm going to crop that there. Now you're only cropping these. You're not cropping what was in your library. You can still go back to samples and say, I'll put that in another project. Okay, you're only making adjustments to this project. So now we have these three samples. I'm going to go back to this one. Take it down 12 semitones and pan it like that. Then I'm going to use this one and pitch it up 12 and pan that there. And this one I'll kind of leave in the middle. I won't do any panning. Cool beans. Right, now a thing to remember is when you're going to start stacking these on top of each other, if you don't want to lose the original sample, just copy them to another pad and you can always go back and do some more work on them. So what we can do now is take any of these samples and just drop it onto that. And we'll go mix. And now this one is a mixture of those first two, and then we'll take this one and go mix. Now we've got a mix of both of those, but you see our first one's disappeared now. Now we can go in and edit this one, which is our blend. And now we've got that really nice pad sound made up of those three vocal sounds. And we can take that over there. We can get rid of that. So we've got it here. We can get rid of this one and we can get rid of this one because we were sensible and made copies of our samples. Go back here and we could say, well, let's give this a name. Let's go into edit, tools, label, and just call this choir stack like this. Now there is no limit to how many things you can stack. Okay, so for example, if I made a copy of this So I've got two of them. I'm going to bring in another sample, maybe. Let's go to one of mine. I'm going to go. Sorry, I didn't need to come out of that. Let's go back there. Back again. And I'm going to go to One Shot C, which are mine. And I may want a put a, I don't know, maybe an organ sound. It might sound nice. I don't know. Now, please, this is so important. When you're sampling stuff to use, sample the note C, okay? Because when you start to stack stuff up, you're not having to retune anything. If it was something else, you'd have to retune it, repitch it, make sure it was in tune. If you sample something in C, if it's a melodic, it's going to map perfectly over your MIDI keyboard. What's this one? Right, this sounds like an interesting one. I'm going to put that onto here. Okay, so now I've got this. I'll close that now. Now I've got this organ thing. Loads of work we can do on this. Let's just normalize it for a kickoff. Now I can loop this stuff so it sustains. If I want to loop it, I don't want to loop this because it's going over this, but if I wanted this to loop, I literally just hit loop, and then I can choose a loop point here and drag this in. Just grab it here. Now it doesn't sound quite natural, right? So what we can do is add in a crossfade. Okay, so that sounds. That sounds more natural, but for the purposes of this, I don't want to put a loop point in. I'm going to take that to about there, and I'll crop that because I don't need that extra stuff at the end. And what I can do is make sure that everything is how I want it, the volume wise, before I drop it on. And then I can take this one now and drop it onto either of those. And we'll just go mix. And now I've created a new sample, so we can bin that organ, don't need it. And we've still got our original because we were sensible and we duplicated it, right? And this time we'll just go into edit and we'll go, right. So what we could do is say, let's just trim that down there like this. I am going to crop that. Should I make a copy? No, you can make a copy if you want to. And I'm going to crop that now. I'm going to loop this. So we'll have a loop of our vocal samples and our organ samples. So in case we wanted to make it into a pad, let's hit loop and we'll set our loop point up, maybe around. So that sounds dead unnatural. Let's put ping pong on and set a crossfade. So that's not too bad. You can obviously spend more time. So now you've got this like choir and organ thing. Now, another cool thing we can do is, well, look, we can put mix bus effects on, right? But say we wanted to bake in some effects, some of Koala's effects. If we go to perform and we use our effects here, if I switch hold on and I start to play with these effects now, if I play my keyboard and put some dub delay on, maybe some reverb, talk box, or we'll leave it with our dub delay, and we can do a bit of reverse like that. But just let's keep it simple. Let's give it some compression, because it's lost a bit of its power. So there's the one with effects, right? So if we go back to sample now, come out of edit, and what we're going to do is tap on this little icon here, the mic icon, and we're going to go resample from app, right? So I'm just going to tap any of these others. We'll tap this one here, and it's waiting now for me to play this. So I'm just going to play a C for as long as I like. It doesn't really matter. There you go. I'm going to stop this, and there's our resampled recording now. And this includes all the effects. So we can go back in here now, turn the effects off, go back to sample. Let's edit it. Go into edit because it needs some relief. Let's trim that because we don't need all this extra at the beginning for this particular sample. Let's give it some release so you can hear the effects on it now, right? And of course, we can give it a name. Maybe we could call this one, where's my tools here? Label. I'll call this choir organ effects, because it's got those 3 choir samples, that organ sample, and it's been resampled with effects on it. We still have this one, which is the dry version. Don't really need that now, so we can get rid of it, say. So now you've got your 2 things. Now, if you want to use these samples in anything else, just duplicated that, so don't need them anymore. If you want to access these samples to use in another, don't need that neither. Call it a name, give it a name, call it, so save the song project as, say, stacks, like this, so that you can reference it when you come back. And then you can build up more. You can have up to 64 multi-stack samples, and you can make these stacks as big as you like. You know, you don't have to just have 3 or 4. You could have 10, 12 multi-layers. There's also some other super cool stuff you can do with the multi-layer as well, but I'll do that in another video. So there you go. You can stack any sample you like. Tuning is important. Make sure you're in C, because then you'll be golden for anything else you do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful, or at least a little bit interesting. And I will see you guys later. Ta-da!